went in just for a routine scan and they said, oh, we found this congenital diaphragmatic hernia. We didn't have a clue what that was. And then obviously we were told that she'd have to have a stay in Ward 35 to kind of correct her problem. Maisie was born on the 14th of June 2022. When she came, there was the crash team there ready straight away, put her straight onto the stabilisation bed, put the tube down to help her breathe, and then she got whisked straight off to Ward 35.
The involvement with Tiny Lives started at the moment we stepped onto the ward. So a nurse presented us with a bag, and in there was the first set of mini boos. There was a book and a pen, and then also a storybook.
Maisie's operation for the diaphragmatic hernia was at 6 days old, so she had to be stable enough to obviously withstand the operation. Throughout Maisie's stay post-surgery, she was kind of recovering quite well, and then we hit a couple of rocky patches where unfortunately Maisie got some pretty serious chest infections and also contracted sepsis. Kind of the next 24 hours was a really crucial point for Maisie.
Claire got that first cuddle and it was just the most amazing thing to watch. Like this bond that had been formed for 6 weeks just was like strengthened even further. And there was a physio on the ward who'd come up a couple of times a week.
They also provided a psychologist. Being at home is, I wouldn't say scary, but it's every day is different. And kind of getting used to a new way of living really with all these machines and things going on. But Maisie settled in lovely. She absolutely loves home life. She's a little bundle of energy, wants to be everywhere and anywhere.
So I ran the Great North Run for Tiny Lives because we can't say thank you enough for the involvement and the support they've given us as a family.
We discovered at 23 weeks and 4 days that I had very high blood pressure, and they did a scan.
But there was no concerns really at that point. But Kirsty's blood pressure was getting worse.
We had a lot of medication for myself that kind of helped a little bit, and we managed to get her up to 401 grams estimated. So we had an emergency section. So immediately after the section, I was allowed to touch Emily's hand. I had to go to recovery and have everything done for me. But then when we went round, she was there, ready for us. I didn't get to give her a cuddle until a week after she was born, so it was the 28th of December. And she fit just here absolutely perfectly.
It was hard to explain to anyone that hadn't seen her how small she was. You try to explain it to people and they're like, so how big was she? And you're going, well, really, the size of a tin of soup. We had this pillow made that represents that size. It truly shows you how small she was.
When Emily was first born, when we first went to see her, we saw her with like a little toy and we asked questions about it. And it was called a mini boo. It's to give a scent, so to help with breastfeeding and establish that connection.
For me, I met Tiny Lives the very first day she was born. I met them while Kirsty was in recovery still. You know, throughout the entire process, they would give you bits of help and encouragement.
They gave us a parking permit, which meant that we didn't have to pay for parking every day, and it gets very expensive. She got to come home at just over £4, which to us at the time, she was massive, but she was absolutely tiny when we look back now.
I go onto the ward pretty much every Tuesday. I love being able to go and see the people, and it's great. It's great to have known that I've made a difference to those people, and I made their journey ever so slightly easier than mine was.
If you're having a moment where you're not so happy about something, she will just give you the biggest cuddle or a kiss and you just melt, and it's just totally worth it, every minute of it.
I'm ridiculously proud of her. It's definitely daddy's girl.
Art Ventures is a class that's run by, for Tiny Lives, and we do a lot of artwork, but it's more messy play. Then we started music and movement. That just brought Emily along so much because she just gained confidence playing with things.
Because when you go to a local class, you just never know how anyone's going to react when you turn up with a child with oxygen and feeding tubes. Whereas you go to these classes and families have been through it and you kind of can all chat together and, talk about experiences.
It's time to say